I want to do a video on how the Republicans can win the 2028 election and what Trump needs to do during his presidential term to build up the Republicans to win the 2028 and probably the 2032 election. Now, the first thing I want to say is one thing that could greatly help the Republicans is if they lower medication prices. If this executive order that Trump is trying to get through, or that to lower prescription drug prices for everyday Americans, this could greatly help the Republicans and probably ruin the Democrats' attacks on the Republicans for cutting Medicare and Medicaid. Because, they cut Medicare and Medicaid, but they make the prescription drug prices cost 90% less, then honestly, it doesn't seem that bad. Uh, Second thing that Trump needs to do to help the Republicans is get trade deals done. Even if they're not the best trade deals, as long as Republicans can go around saying they got the trade deal done, they got a trade deal done with Japan, get a trade deal done with the Philippines, get a trade deal done with Taiwan, with France, with Germany, with Spain, Portugal, Denmark, etc. If they can get trade deals done, that will greatly help the Republicans win 2028 and will be a great talking point for J.D. Vance in the 2028 election. Third thing they need to do is rebuild friendships with NATO member nations. If they can make sure that every country is united against China as the sorry, misspelled that, common as the common enemy, common global geopolitical enemy, then we could see other nation leaders support the Republican Party. We could see, I don't know where Macron would be in power by now, but, if Trump is able to get a trade deal done with France and rebuilds a friendship with them, we could see someone like the France leader at the time um, endorse J.D. Vance. That would greatly help the Republican Party if they can be seen as the peace party, the party that has allies and that allies are behind them and that are weakening China as a geopolitical threat. If Trump keeps a strong border, that would be an amazing achievement for his presidential term, because I think this would be the best talking point. This is the best promise that he kept so far. Now, fifth thing I have is at most by 2028, only having a universal 10% tariff. This goes back to getting the trade deals done. If they get trade deals done, then hopefully by 2028, we only have a universal 10% tariff. That way, inflation doesn't hit America too hard, but hopefully, and Trump said, hopefully, I don't know if I agree with this brings over factory jobs. Six, Trump needs to build up J.D. Vance to be the next leader of the Republican Party, and Trump also needs to build up the Republican Party more than he attacks the Democratic Party. I don't think people like Trump whenever he throws mud at the other party. I think it would be more successful if Trump builds up the Republican Party. Now, we'll go ahead and look at a 2028 map. And if all this happens, I'm going to have Florida, Texas, and Ohio all going safe. Usually I have them leaning towards the Republicans. But if all of that happens, then the Republicans will not have to worry about Ohio, Florida, or Texas at all, gaining margins in those states. Now, safe states for Democrats in this scenario is still Washington, Oregon, and California. The New England, most of the New England area, Delaware, Maine, and D.C., and Illinois. But after that, that's it. Hawaii. Colorado would not be safe in this scenario. I don't see how it could be safe in this scenario. So I will have Republicans going out and getting amazing margins in Arizona in this scenario, winning Arizona between 6 and 7%, somewhere around there. They could also win Nevada by around 5% in this scenario. The Republicans will also take this district of Maine by pretty good margins, and we could even see North Carolina go to Republicans by around 4%. We could also see the Republicans possibly take Pennsylvania by around 2 to 3% with their margins there. We would see somewhere like New Jersey only go to Democrats by around 3 to 4%. We, of course, would see J.D. Vance take New Hampshire by around 1 to 2 points. Virginia would still go to the Democrats, but only by around that 2 to 3% margin. We also see Minnesota almost flip, but only go Democrats by around that 2 to 3% margin. Democrats still would take Colorado, but only by around like 4%, somewhere around there. We will also see New Mexico almost flip, but still going Democrats by around that 2 to 3% margin. J.D. Vance would be able to take Michigan by around 3 points, and he would take Wisconsin by around a point. Same with Georgia, winning the 2028 election pretty handily by a 316 to 221. I do want to say I don't believe this will happen in 2028, but if the Republicans play their cards right, I would not be surprised if this is the map we are looking at. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and peace out.